much on this album. I'm feeling like a strong 3 to a light 4 on this. Is that harsh? Well, I just really have a negative feeling about it. I don't enjoy it. But I know that there are a lot of people out there who are. Tracks on this EP are just too unrelatably depressing, kind of vocally annoying, and repetitive for me. You know, like I said, just my opinion. Feeling a strong 4 on this song. This song and the Weeknd so far is just really not for me. Just not my thing. I'm not against alternative R&B on principle, but I'm just not digging it in this particular instance. You know, it's been pretty interesting following the Weeknd's exploits up until this point, and the fact that I thought this thing was great only kind of makes my mouth water even more when I think about the album the Weeknd has coming out later this year. So as far as R&B goes, the Weeknd is definitely more creative, sound rich, and more interesting than any other R&B artist out there. I feel like that was true since House of Balloons. But at this point, with Echoes of Silence, I feel like that actually means something. Right now, I feel like this is the bar, and it's set here. I'm feeling a decent to strong 8 on this thing. Thought it was great. But, let me know what you think. Future and still has a defined sound in the R&B world. When you hear a Weeknd song, you know it's a Weeknd song. But overall, this project just feels like a rehash of a lot of moments from the Weeknd's previous stuff, but done in a slightly less interesting way. While this record wasn't terrible to me, it wasn't, you know, the worst thing in the world. There were some good points, but the good points that I heard here, I've already really heard from this project. I'm feeling a light 5 on this thing, honestly. Decent record that was around 40 minutes in length. Not all the kinks were kind of smoothed out and worked out. Maybe these will be smoothed out in future releases. I hope so, because again, the tracks that I really liked, Shameless and Can't Feel My Face, the duet and collaborative tracks on here, the song Angel to an extent. I thought there were real highs on this record. It's just that it doesn't dish them out consistently. That's all. I'm feeling a decent to strong 5 on this thing. Tran, actually on top of a kind of a boom-bappy beat. Kendrick kills it on his verse, in my opinion. He sort of gets filthy, sexual, low down, and dirty like you would want on a Weeknd record. Sure, it's not real classy, but I think he fits the bill. And it's just this constant roller coaster of like, wow, this is great, wow, this is not, wow, this is great, wow, this is not. So unfortunately, I'm feeling a light to decent 5 on this thing, but there are just enough highlights on this record to make me curious once again. Can Abel actually, like, pull it off on the next one? I'm not really sure. I mean, so far this album formula seems to be working for him, so I guess there's probably no real reason to change, but, you know, still, at least in the case of this record, and most likely the next one, there are a couple singles I can take away from it and really enjoy and probably throw onto my year-end list. Again, light to decent 5, but for someone like me who's looking for him to maybe do something a little bit more novel, or at least, like, right up to the standards that you've set for yourself in the past, because honestly, like, as far as lyrics, as far as the tunes on this thing, I feel like he's kind of sold himself short a little bit. I'm feeling a light to decent 5 on this thing. Tran, and Until I Bleed Out, I suppose, is an okay closer. Certainly a stronger moment than the intro track, but Abel spends a lot of time building this track up too, only for the very slow motion beat and pain vocals to meet a pretty abrupt end. Still, overall, I thought After Hours was a pretty good album. There are a handful of tracks that either I don't care for or I thought sort of killed the momentum of the record, but this album contains some of Abel's most catchy and infectious works yet. And not to downplay the groundbreaking sounds and ideas he forged during that mixtape era, but After Hours isn't just sounding good, it's sounding like a new beginning. I'm feeling a light to decent 7 on this one. Tran on FM I thought was a very good, very impressive pop album with a dynamic, versatile, and conceptual production. There's a grandiosity to it as well. Again, I think this album sounds like a movie. Abel is very much world building on this project and doing so very well. He has some great songwriting here, some cool vocal switch-ups here and there as well. I think the first half is quite a bit stronger than the second half of the record, but still, as an overall experience, I think Dawn FM is quite good and easily going to be one of the better pop records we're going to hear this year. I'm feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 on this one.